What's going on, everyone? Thank y'all for watching the video today. Now, with the NFL season approaching its midpoint this week with Week 9, I wanted to take the time to really preview this week's slate of games over 5 different main categories. I'm going to be attempting to do this every week for the rest of the season to really get a good handle on what to expect from every week's games. So I'm going to be going through this week's slate of games and picking what I think which game best fits each of these 5 categories. So starting off, just what I think the most exciting, most important game of this week is the game of the week, which has the most stakes. I've got the Sunday Night Football showdown between the Tennessee Titans and the Los Angeles Rams. Now, the Titans just lost Derrick Henry to a season-ending injury, putting an end to his quest to become the first running back to secure back-to-back 2,000-yard seasons. The Titans just signed Adrian Peterson to hopefully eventually fill in that number one role down the stretch for them. But this week, I don't really see AP playing that much. They signed him to the practice squad, and I don't anticipate him really making a proper debut until 2 weeks from now. So really, the Titans are going to have to pass a lot more than they have so far this week, or so far this season, and that's not necessarily a great thing because outside of AJ Brown, their pass game has really struggled. Ryan Tannehill himself has struggled without Arthur Smith. And on the other side of things, the Rams, who are their 7-1, arguably the best team in the NFL. They just acquired Von Miller from the Broncos, which is really going to strengthen an already really good defense. On offense, they've been hitting on all cylinders. Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp have been fantastic all season. But the Titans still have a winning record. So until they start losing games, they're still one of the best teams in the AFC. So to me, this game, at least coming into it, is definitely the most important game of this week. We'll have to see how the Titans perform without Derrick Henry. Now moving on to the most fun game, what I think is which games could be the most exciting. I've got the showdown between Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes for the first time. Packers and Chiefs. Packers going to Arrowhead this week. Now, Mahomes and Rodgers never played before. The Chiefs and Packers did play 2 seasons ago, but Mahomes had an ankle injury, so the Packers only had to play Matt Moore. But Packers coming off a big win over the Cardinals, despite all their injuries, despite the wide receivers missing the game due to COVID-19 issues. But all 3 receivers should be back this week. Devontae Adams, Allen Lazard, and MVS is going to be back from his injury as well. There's a chance maybe David Bakhtiari makes his season debut. I'm not sure about that, but there has been a few rumors coming that way. Jair Alexander, Zadarius Smith should still be out, but overall the Packers have been winning a lot of games. The Chiefs have not been winning a lot of games on the other hand, and their defense has struggled quite a bit, even despite having a number of Pro Bowl guys like Frank Clark, Chris Jones, etc. on the team. They just acquired Melvin Ingram from the Steelers to hopefully strengthen their pass rush at the trade deadline. But on offense, which is where they're supposed to have their strengths, Patrick Mahomes and the rest of that offense has been pretty dormant. They even could barely get by the New York Giants last night on Monday Night Football. Mahomes is tied for the league leader in interceptions with Trevor Lawrence. And the Chiefs are just going to need to play a lot more consistent if they're going to, A, beat the Packers this week, and B, just get back on track and make the playoffs. But despite that, Mahomes versus Rodgers, that's a great matchup. 2 great quarterbacks, arguably the best 2 in the league. So that should be a great matchup. A lot of fun this week. Now going on to what I think will be the biggest blowout of Week 9. I got the Buffalo Bills versus the Jacksonville Jaguars going the way of the Bills. Now the Bills did have an opportunity to blow out the Miami Dolphins last week, which a lot of people would expect. They did it earlier in the season. I believe they beat them 49-0. They were unable to do it again. They only won 26-11. But I think the Bills are going to be looking to bounce back big time from a bit of a disappointing performance. I think Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Emmanuel Sanders, the rest of that offense are really going to put up the points against a subpar Jaguars team who got embarrassed by Geno Smith last week. So if the Jaguars can't hang with the Seahawks, their bad defense and their lackluster quarterback situation, I don't see how the Jags are going to be able to hang with the Bills. As I just mentioned, Trevor Lawrence, the number 1 overall pick, leads the NFL in interceptions along with Patrick Mahomes. Although Mahomes might have actually passed him on Monday Night Football, so maybe that's incorrect. But nonetheless, Lawrence has not met expectations. Urban Meyer's been a bit of a train wreck as head coach. Their only win coming against another terrible team in the Dolphins. So I expect the Bills to take down the Jaguars with ease. Moving on to what I think will be the biggest snooze fest of the week, the most boring game. Now, if you look at the slate, you'll probably think I'm going to go with Texans-Dolphins, but since those 2 teams are so bad, I actually think that game will be pretty exciting. They're pretty evenly matched. I could see Tua and Davis Mills both having big days fancy-wise as those 2 teams go against each other because those teams have bad defenses. I think that could be a pretty fun game. So the game I'm going to go with is Falcons visiting the Saints. Jameis Winston out for the season. Probably one of the most devastating injuries for me as a fan of a non-Packers player in a long time. I love watching Jameis Winston play. And with Taysom Hill, I don't know if he's going to be back necessarily, so it could be Trevor Siemian once again getting his first start at quarterback probably since the 2017 season, outside of his one game with the Jets where he did get hurt. This will be his first real start in a long time. And as for the Falcons, even though they have plenty of good players, they haven't been that exciting outside of Cordarrelle Patterson, of course, with his big breakout season thus far. But Kyle Pitts, Calvin Ridley's out now, actually. Russell Gage has been hurt. That Falcons offense does not look great, and I don't know if the Saints are going to be able to look that great on offense either without James at quarterback. Maybe Kamara will make this an exciting game. Maybe Kamara and Patterson can make something out of this, but overall I think this will be a pretty low-scoring game, and it'll be pretty boring to watch. And finally, what I think could be the biggest upset of the week is going to come on Thursday Night Football because, yeah, that's right, Mike White in prime time visiting Indianapolis against Carson Wentz and the Colts. Wentz gave away the game against the Titans last week. The Colts are only 3-5, and you could argue they could be better, but they also could be worse, depending on certain plays in each game that has led to their record as of now. And the Jets, they only have 2 wins, but they're 2-1 in their last 3, I believe. And with Mike White looking, I'm not necessarily going to come out here and say Mike White is going to be better than Zach Wilson in the long run, but thus far, Mike White, a guy who's been in the NFL for a few years, looks like he knows what he's doing a lot more than Wilson did. I believe Wilson is out almost a month with that injury. So I could see Mike White kind of pulling off an upset for the Jets here on Thursday Night Football. If the Colts do win and prevent the upset, I think it'll be more because of their defense. I don't love what I've seen from their offense outside of Michael Pittman the last few weeks. So, hey, maybe Mike White in primetime. Primetime Mike White. That's what we'll be calling him if he gets the win. That's my pick for the upset of the week. I'm going to try to do these superlatives every week before the games. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.